Manimal won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today it's another
For the Stepdads.
Yeah, your stuffed old stepdads are here post-Thanksgiving.
Crack open that Schlitz.
Oh, man.
Sit next to the fire.
Whew.
It's actually getting chilly outside finally.
Yes, California chilly, which means 62 degrees.
Yeah, still gets up to 80 during the day, and then it gets
exactly.
to 40 at night. It's great.
Call it pneumonia weather.
Yeah. My sniffles and snot every morning definitely agrees with that.
It happens. Well, it's the end of the month, man.
End of the Hitchcockian Comedy Month.
Made it through another month.
Yeah. Foul Play, Throw Mama from the Train, and So I Married an Ex-Murderer.
Really fun. I hadn't seen those movies for a minute, and I
same.
was really pleased with all of them. Especially, I think Foul Play for me was the most enjoyable, just because I hadn't seen it for the longest time.
Yeah.
And it brought back so many memories of watching it as a little boy.
Right.
And I laughed so hard, and it was just fun to see Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn.
Yeah. I hadn't seen that movie in 45 years, meaning I'd never seen the movie.
Saw it in the womb.
I did. My mom.
Because you had a womb with a view.
Which I did. Yeah, it was. I got to admit, I really enjoyed it. I'm shocked I've never seen it.
Yeah, well, I think there are a lot of movies, really good movies, that kind of slip out, that just kind of disappear a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to bring them back. No, but you forget about them, and then when you watch them again, you're just like, oh my God, this was such a part.
Yeah.
For me, that movie was a big part of my childhood.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was a staple. So
Yeah.
I was a huge Chevy Chase fan. Anything from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Rightly so. He was very entertaining.
I was really young when I started watching Saturday Night Live. I would sneak.
Yeah,
do the sneaks, and I would watch from.
Wow.
God,
would you go to sleep for a couple hours and get up and go watch the movie or watch the show?
No. Well, I don't. Maybe. I don't know. It was like 4 or 5.
It came on super late.
It did, but I would sneak because my folks would watch it.
Yeah.
And then I would sneak out and watch behind. Yeah.
Hiding behind the chair.
Yeah. Well,
sticking your head out.
Yeah.
Don't look. Don't turn around.
Is he here again?
I can smell him.
I can smell that little bastard. But I loved it, and it hit me unlike anything had ever hit me. Like that.
Yeah.
That kind of sketch comedy. Boom! It was an instant connection with me.
Nice.
And an instant connection with mostly John Belushi. John Belushi was one of my first kind of comedy hero.
Your comedy crush?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had very soon after that was Steve Martin.
Yeah.
It kind of all came on at the same time, mid to late sevs.
Yeah.
When I was way too young for any of it.
Yeah.
But
well, Belushi's big personality, it makes sense.
Well, he's dressed as a bee.
Yeah, he's a bigger than life character.
Flippity flopping around, doing flips, and you see a fat guy doing flips.
It's like, what? An adult can do that?
Yeah. And it was just silly and fun and funny, and they would do commercial parodies. The one that I remember the most is the pond water one. It was like it was kind of a takeoff on Perrier, because Perrier was new.
Okay.
Nobody was like, bottled water?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
insane. Why would I pay for water when I can get it for free?
I have a tap.
But they did a whole pond water thing. And so when they poured it out, it was just filled with, tadpole eggs,
and
and goop. And so they started playing the Anticipation.
Oh, nice.
The Heinz.
Yeah,
that was the song that they used for the ketchup,
because it would,
the whole Heinz thing was like, oh, you got to wait. You got to be patient because it's so thick.
Yeah.
So anyway, that burned into my brain. I'll never forget it. Probably on my deathbed, I'll be like, oh.
Pond water.
Yeah. It was called Peru or something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that Belushi was just the guy. And then I just thought, man, Chevy Chase is just the coolest dude on the planet.
Yeah.
On the flip side, he was just smooth,
yeah.
but also really funny platform. I mean, people forget his President Ford.
Yeah,
poor President Ford. President Ford was like well, I'm just saying, he was a really good football player. It wasn't like he was a klutz.
Sure.
But he was just known as, I'm not saying he was a good president. I'm just saying that he kind of got unfairly labeled a klutz because I think he tripped once.
Well, but that's the best time, though, because he was this great athlete, and then he fell down.
I kind of fell down. Oh, boy. Yeah, he was like, I know nothing about him.
I don't
Nothing.
know. I knew he played football.
He's the least interesting president of our lifetime, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of our lifetime, for
Yeah.
sure. Oh, yeah.
He just kind of.
I mean, he's forgettable. He's like all of Gen X. They just forget he exists.
I'll pardon him for the good of the country.
Yeah, that's the one thing I know that Ford did was pardon Nixon.
Pardon Nixon. And here we are now. Look where we got to. Anywho.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so.
But Chevy Chase did an impersonation of him, which essentially consisted of him falling down.
Yeah, and it was just Chevy Chase being Chevy Chase,
Right.
but doing an elaborate pratfall,
Falling down.
which, like we mentioned on the show, unfortunately led to his,
Yeah.
you know,
He had some issues.
some pain issues.
He had some issues.
I just loved him, and I also forgot how much I really loved Billy Crystal back in the
Yeah.
day. You know, some guys get a little older and. Not everybody can be Steve Martin and Martin Short.
No,
you know?
no.
Not everybody's going to be as hilarious and groundbreaking and amazing from the first day to the last day. You know, that's
Right.
super rare.
Right.
He had an amazing career.
Sure.
He's had an amazing career. He groundbreaking on soap, amazing stand-up, amazing movie star, great movies,
Great Oscar host.
the best,
Yeah.
in my opinion, Oscar host. Steve Martin was really good too. But, you know, I got Martin bias, you know.
Yeah.
I got
of
Stevie
course.
Breen, so
Sure.
of course. But you can't discount what a great career he had and how funny
Oh
he
no,
was.
no,
and
totally.
groundbreaking. It's
I
just,
mean, he was great on SNL too. I mean, like he was funny. He was a funny guy. But Throw Mama from the Train for me, I think, was the same way that Foul Play was for you. It
Right.
was something that because of like Cinemax and Showtime, it was on all the time.
Yeah.
And I have probably seen that movie 100 times.
sure.
And I hadn't seen it in a long time. I did, at the time when I was watching it, had no idea Danny DeVito directed it. Had no idea that the little tiny guy in the movie directed the movie. I had no idea.
Yeah. No, it was I didn't enjoy it as much when it came out as I did this time. Time has been kind to this movie, in my opinion.
I could definitely see the age you were of kind of being like, okay, this seems kind of dumb.
Plus, there were a lot of comedies like that back then.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we're in a very we're in a drought of good comedies. You know, we'll be talking about a couple later on in the show, but
Yeah.
there's not a lot of comedies coming out, and unfortunately,
No.
even though there's been some really great comedies this year, they haven't caught on at the box office, and so who knows? But
Yeah. There's not a new like Judd Apatow that's like shepherding.
no, it's just old Judd Apatow shepherding young people now. He's just going on to the next
That's
gen,
true.
you
That's
know?
true. But I mean, it's like that's what we need. We need like
We need like a Seth Rogen,
somebody
or-
that's gonna like come out and like gangbuster.
Yes,
and
that's
then,
going to define this decade's comedy. It hasn't
Yeah.
been defined yet.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, because we had in the aughts, we had the Judd Apatow and we have Seth Rogen and
Yeah.
that whole crew, Michael Cera. And I don't think that whomever is going to define comedy
Yeah.
in this decade has come out yet.
Yeah, I agree.
There's some great stuff coming out. Bottoms looks really great.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's already come out and it's probably going to be streaming now.
It should be streaming.
I think it
soon,
came out in August in the theater.
Yeah.
And then
But it kind of came and went.
Yeah.
And like didn't it was just kind of like okay.
there's
It
good
looks
comedies.
funny, yeah.
But there's just nothing that's getting us back into like
Right.
the comedy. you
Nothing
know?
that's driving people to the theater.
Exactly. Thank you, Adam, for summing that up so nicely. But at that time, there was just a glut
Yeah.
of comedies, and everybody was starring in comedies.
Yeah,
And everything had to be kind of funny. And it was so many concepts. It was
Yes,
high concept
yes.
comedy back then, and that kind of wears thin after a while.
It does. It does. It really does.
That was also back in the time. It's really funny because watching old TV and old movies, there was like a rule against growth. Characters
Yeah.
couldn't grow. They had to stay who they were. If they were a loser, they were a loser.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
could never
yeah.
break them out of that because that is what was in the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, so-and-so never got the girl, and he'll never
Yeah.
get the girl. you know?
Fonz was always the cool guy.
Magnum never got money. Never.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with Rockford. They did a little bit give. You know,
They gave him some character development. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like Well, yeah, and Magnum too. As the series went,
Yeah,
as we
yeah.
went, from the '80s to the '90s. I don't know if he made it. I think he made it to the end of the '80s, but
Yeah.
drama, yeah, you could have a little bit of growth. But in comedy,
No.
it was just stereotype, 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 stereotype. Stay within your stereotype.
Yeah.
Don't jump out of it.
You're that archetype. You have to be that archetype, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we got Long Duck Dong from, from 16 Candles.
yeah.
And, certain comedies broke. Mel Brooks was really good at breaking away from that.
Yeah.
Like with Blazing Saddles, having Cleavon Little as the
As the
star.
sheriff.
And also, not tap dancing around the racism of the time.
Right, right.
And turning it into something funny rather than something so tragic.
Yeah.
And, I just think that unfortunately for me, at the time, Throw Mama from the Train just kind of fell into that.
Yeah. No, I could totally see that. I could totally see that happening.
But away from it and watching it again, I really enjoyed it.
Speaking of Mel Brooks, obviously during our Hitchcockian comedy, we did not cover
High Anxiety.
High Anxiety, which is the ultimate Hitchcockian comedy because we felt it deserved to be in its own month with Mel Brooks.
Yeah. High Anxiety.
Which we will cover at some point. I still have never seen it. So
That's the song from it that he sings. He plays a psychiatrist. It's a whole It's so good. You will love it.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I've not seen it.
Oh, you'll love it.
Yeah.
A lot of it takes place at the Bonaventure Hotel. With
Nice. Okay.
those glass elevators.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a whole
yeah,
big
yeah.
part of it. And they even have a poster of it in the Bonaventure. They have all the posters of all the movies that have shot there. And they can't fit them all now. But yeah, that was such a good movie. And then So I Married an Axe Murderer. That I just adore. It was that
Such a great movie.
because he defined the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the great comedies of the 90s were, let's be honest, Mike Myers,
Yeah.
Putting aside the guru. I think we've given him enough grief for the guru
But
for the
I'm
month.
pretty sure that was in the 2000s. I don't.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm
probably.
pretty sure it was.
It's funny because after we were talking about it, I saw some article on Flipboard or something, and the thumbnail that they used was a picture of he and John Oliver, who I forgot that John Oliver was in the Guru.
Yeah.
I'm thinking John Oliver's hoping that everybody forgot that he was in the Guru.
It's much like I always forget that Dana Carvey was in Master of Disguise.
Turtle.
Another really great comedy.
He started it, though.
Wayne's
He was
World
the
guys.
star.
I usually just forget that movie exists.
Well, you and everybody else.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, John Oliver, in a lot of stinks as
Oh,
an
no.
actor. And he'll even admit it.
He was like, I am not an actor. Like, what am I doing in this stuff?
But that's so not true. He was so funny on Community.
Community, he was phenomenal.
He's very talented. I love his show so much. He just completely overtook the Bird of the Century
the New Zealand Bird of the Century contest.
competition. And
290,000 votes.
there's some people that are PO'd about that.
Yeah, but there were a bunch of people that were like, whatever. I mean,
just
it's not,
have a sense of humor about it.
More people now know about New Zealand and their birds, and I'm
Sure.
sure they donated a ton of money.
And let's be honest, the Puteki Teki is a pretty awesome looking bird.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's super weird. I mean, and then what more do you want from a bird?
So I Married an Axe Murderer. It's just such a fun, like you said, it's like a bunch of sketches with a bunch of really great comedic actors.
yeah.
And it just comes together in a really fun and a good little mystery too.
Oh yeah, no, it totally does. I mean, it's watching it again and knowing that Amanda Plummer, is the culprit at the end.
Spoilers.
Spoiler. Yeah, spoiler for a 30-year-old movie. It is really interesting seeing how Nancy Travis and Amanda Plummer both act. Like, obviously Nancy Travis not knowing the twist and Amanda Plummer knowing the twist.
But she also, if you look at Nancy Travis, she plays it very suspiciously, but it's because she's so worried.
Yeah.
Because all of her husbands have disappeared on their wedding night. So, she's of course acting strangely.
Never once thought it was her weird ass sister.
You never think it's your family member, Adam.
I do also want to thank Lorne Michaels because apparently we wouldn't have had this month without literally everybody from SNL.
Oh, yeah.
It just occurred to me that all the main actors, I mean, Chevy Chase, Mike Myers, Billy Crystal, were all SNL alums.
They were.
It's weird. It's just weird. It's just the impact of SNL is much stronger than people realize.
Well, a show that's around for 45, almost 50 years?
Almost 50 years, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, 40, I think it's turning 49 next year, because I think it started in 75.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm older than Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are you.
I am not.
Oh, no, you're younger. Damn it.
How dare you?
Not by much.
No, not by much.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a great month. There's so many other great Hitchcockian comedies, like stuff, and it's just stuff that actually has a plot.
Sure.
Like, I mean, that's the big thing, is that it has an actual like mystery plot. And there's a ton more out there.
Oh, yeah. We had a great month.
Yeah,
Definitely
it was
check
fun.
those things out. And also, hit the Ridge, baby. Get yourself some Hitchcockies.
Oh, you should definitely.
North by Northwest, Psycho, Vertigo,
Rear Window.
Frenzy.
Frenzy's a good one.
It's not that great.
Frenzy's okay. I mean, it's there's definitely tier lists of Hitchcock movies.
Yeah. I don't like the stuff in the 30s, and I don't like the stuff in the 70s, but I'll take the 40s to the 60s.
Definitely the stuff in the 70s. He should have retired.
Yeah, Family Plot.
Oh, yeah. But there was stuff in the 30s and 40s that I really liked.
Again, it's it's not fair to. It bothers me, and I'm trying to be better at this. Was like, people have 80%, 90% of a good career. Let's not focus on the 10% of stinks.
Yeah. Yes. I think that's a good idea. There's definitely still very good stuff from Hitchcock, despite the fact that his last movies were not.
Yeah, hot take.
Speaking of comedies.
Speaking of comedies, and hopefully defining a generation.
Yeah.
No, probably not. But let's. We're gonna do something a little different this week. We're just gonna take a few things that we watched and kind of do a little deeper dive. There might be a little spoilery.
Yeah.
Little flirtations with spoiling. We're not going to try to completely spoil anything for you, So the movie that we watched that we want to talk about this week was The Treasure of Foggy Bottom with the Please Don't Destroy boys.
Yeah. It's they are Ben Marshall, John Higgins, and Martin Herlihy. He's the son of Tim Herlihy, the longtime comedy partner of Adam Sandler and a writer-producer for SNL in the 90s.
Yes.
Higgins, John Higgins, one of the other Please Don't Destroy kids, he's one of 4 children of Steve Higgins, a producer and writer for SNL, most widely known as the announcer of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. He's also the nephew of actor David Anthony Higgins and comedy writer Alan J. Higgins.
Yeah.
So the whole family's entertainment-based.
Were those the guys that were at the Higgins boys and Gruber? Are those
possibly
his uncles?
I know David Anthony Higgins was in on Ellen. He did a lot of comedies.
Yeah, then that is the Higgins boys and Gruber.
Yeah.
So he comes from a very comedy-rich family.
Yes. Unfortunately, the other one, Ben Marshall, is not a Nepo baby.
Well, good for him. He could be like, screw you guys, I made it on my own.
I gotta be honest, of the 3 of them, I think he's probably the funniest.
So these kids started out on the internets, on the YouTubes.
They met in college.
Yeah.
They formed a group. They had some successful YouTubes.
I like to look at it as this is the second generation of SNL comedians. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
You got your dads doing it, and now they're doing it. I think that's great. They're very funny. Their videos are really clever.
Yeah.
Their Shrek thing with Bad Bunny was hilarious.
Yeah.
Are they different than every other white guy group there is? A little bit, but not always.
Yeah, because they're Nepo babies.
But their movie, Treasure of Foggy Bottom, was really fun. It was like
It was super fun.
Goonies takeoff with,
Yeah. I mean, they're in their late 20s. They're not really sure what they're doing with their lives. There's a lot of people that identify with that.
It was a purposefully silly movie.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to change the world. There's no deep comedy in it. It's just funny. There's a lot of really funny people in it.
There's literally an eagle that walks around following them. There's no way you can take this movie seriously.
And he's sassy, that eagle. I think it's a hawk.
Oh, is it a hawk?
Maybe.
I don't know. Whatever. It tried to murder them.
Yes, but then it became a friend.
I
think it was a hawk. But you have Conan O'Brien.
Conan
O'Brien playing the dad of the redhead, which was hilarious.
First time he's ever actually played a character in a movie.
Well, you could tell because he had a fake beard. It's like, oh, he's acting.
I can't do this unless you give me a fake beard.
I love Conan O'Brien so
yeah, he's
much.
great. He's great.
But yeah, he was hilarious in it. Bowen Yang from Saturday Night Live, who is absolutely hilarious, plays like a cult leader.
Oh yeah, he was so great.
And then
He was so great.
And then you have Ex Mayo, who she was on American Auto, I think. She was great on that.
She was a staff writer for The Daily Show. She was on The Good Doctor and Swarm.
Megan Stalter was hilarious. I could have watched a whole movie with just Megan Statler and Ex Mayo's characters
Oh yeah.
doing their thing.
Well, and Nicole Sakura, really funny on Superstore.
You got Cedric Yarbrough from Reno 911.
And Sunita Mani, who was in
that Glow.
Glow. Yeah, she was fantastic in Glow. She's great.
She didn't have much to do in this movie,
No, she
unfortunately.
really did not.
It's like
It made me sad.
I'm sure she had some stuff cut out, probably.
I am sure there is a cut of that movie that's probably 4 hours long.
Yeah, it was just, look, if you like silly, goofy comedies with some of your favorite folks in it, it's narrated by John Goodman. They got a lot of really good people in it. Is it going to change your life?
No.
Yes. Oh, really?
No.
Changed my life.
No, it didn't change mine, but it was funny.
No, it won't change your life, but you're going to have a good time. Perfect thing to watch post Thanksgiving,
Oh, yeah.
Eat
your meal.
fest.
Drink some wine, have
Yeah.
some beers.
Doze off to Foggy Bottom.
Foggy Mountain.
Foggy Mountain. I got a Foggy Bottom.
Yeah, I fully admit that I don't find all of their sketches to be funny.
Sure.
In fact, I probably find more of them not funny than funny.
Oh.
I don't connect with them as much, but I really like this movie.
Yeah.
The movie was really funny.
Look, it's about three best friends, and you know me and friendship. I love it.
Yeah.
And I love movies where comedy groups or comedy duos, they like portray themselves as all. It's like the Three Stooges. They all sleep in the bunk beds. They all do everything together.
Yeah.
And it's just that kind of thing. Three man boys,
Very much man
who
boys.
need
Yeah.
to grow up, and I don't even know if they do, but it doesn't matter. You're along for a ride. Have some fun. It's not going to change your life, but you're going to have some gigs.
So check out Please Don't Destroy the Treasure of Foggy Mountain. It's on Peacock. It's funny. If you don't like it, you don't like it. That's fine.
We
But
recommend it. We both give it
yeah.
2 middle fingers up. I don't know, whatever our barometer is, but I give it a solid 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
I enjoyed myself. I laughed out loud a lot. It's a turn off your brain and have fun comedy.
It's a popcorn comedy. Just
But if you've got an issue with Nepo babies,
well,
stay
you're
away.
going to issue with Nepo babies. You're going to issue with a lot of people. I won't go to that family business. How dare you?
So that's our movie of the week, our movie of the month, I suppose.
Movie of the month.
We're going to switch over to a video game now.
Yeah.
So this is, again, a little spoilery, but we're going to stay away from the main spoilers. But if you don't want to know anything about Spider-Man 2,
Yes.
skip ahead. But we both finished the game.
Yes.
Adam platinumed it, which means he did everything.
I did everything.
uh,
It really wasn't that hard.
No, that's what I love about those games is they give you the plats.
That's the beauty of these games is that they know you just want to have fun with it.
Right.
Enjoy the story, have fun with it.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, PlayStation has a trophy system. All the games have trophies, and doing certain things gets you a trophy. And then if you've done all the trophies, then you get this platinum trophy, which is the best. And very
some
hard
of them
to
are
do.
really hard to do.
Oh yeah, but the thing about the Spider-Man games is a lot of most of the trophies are pretty organic. That'll come just with you playing them. You don't have to. Some of these trophies you have to play through the game 8 different times and all the difficulties and never take a hit or all this stuff. But at least they give you a chance to get it.
Yeah, I just saw a Game Ranks video this morning. They were talking about really hard to get achievements. And one guy has gotten the Platinum Trophy on 8,379 games.
How old is this man?
I don't know.
Or woman, sorry.
8,379 Platinum Trophies. And there's a bunch that are just super easy.
Sure.
But some that are like, why?
There are 8,000 easy ones.
Why are you doing this?
How did he get it? I didn't even know there were 8,000 games.
Oh, yeah. There's a ton.
So Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac Games.
Yes. There was an original Spider-Man in 2018, and then they did, which was for the PS4, and then they did Spider-Man Miles Morales, which was
kind of an expansion.
Yeah, it was a standalone, but it was the first one done for the PS5.
Yes, it wasn't completely whole game, but it wasn't a time. I mean,
It took like 20 hours maybe to get through it.
it was my favorite out of the two.
It was super fun.
Yeah, the story was great. I really loved the Miles character. But so what they did for Spider-Man 2 is you got two Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You got your
Spider-Mans.
You got your Peter Parks.
Yeah.
And you got your Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And 10 out of 10.
It was amazing. It was super fun. I mean, I'm already ready to play through the whole series again.
Yeah, let's go through some positives, and we'll do a
Yeah.
couple of negatives. There's not very many negatives, but there's a couple things I'd like to talk about.
Sure.
But the story,
Yeah, story's good.
really good. And one thing that sets games apart for me that are like masterpieces versus whatever is the downtime.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The just going to dinner or hanging out
Yeah,
or
yeah.
getting to know the characters.
Right.
The non-Spider-Man parts are great. Like there's parts where you play as Mary Jane Watson.
Yeah.
And she's a badass in this one. You know, people didn't really like the Mary Jane Spider-Man 1 things. I liked them. I thought they
Yeah.
were a nice departure.
They were stealthy. They were fun. It was like playing the game without having the powers.
Right.
And it was so much more relatable.
Yeah, and it's a nice break because then you realize how spoiled you are with all these different
Exactly.
powers. And I found the combat to be a little more difficult.
Yes.
But I adapted. It's one of those things. I love smart combat. Like The Witcher's got very smart
Yeah.
combat where you have to think about it. Like I am not at all a Souls-like guy.
No.
I want to enjoy the game.
Yeah.
I don't need a 45-minute, 3-hour long boss battle
No,
where I lose everything
no.
if I lose. I just don't need that. I don't need that headache, Adam.
Yeah.
But I like a smart combat system. And once I kind of started using the gadgets and the powers and figuring out how to maneuver everything, it got not so much easier, but a lot more interesting.
Yeah, in the first game, and in Miles Morales, like you could theoretically, could just be a beat 'em up. You
Yeah.
could get through everything just by punching.
Yeah.
This one definitely, you had to use the powers, you had to use the gadgets to really make it worthwhile, and to get through some certain things.
Oh, yeah. The enemy AI was a lot better on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, they would even, it's really funny, and it always made me crack up. One thing you can do in this game is, that you couldn't do in the other one, is you can make web lines to walk across
Yeah.
to do stealthy stuff. You know, grab people from the ground, do like
Yeah,
the old
yeah.
Batman scooperoo.
Yeah.
And, and in the last game, people never looked up. They're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
oh. And now they're like, let's look up. What's going on up
what was
here?
that?
And so if if you're there, they'll see you. If you're away, they won't. But it's just, it was kind of a funny joke.
Yeah.
Kind of poking fun at themselves.
There were certain people that would be like working on stuff, and it was like you could do a line above them and then take them out. But if it was a soldier that was like walking back and forth, there was a pretty good chance he was going to see you.
Yeah.
and it worked. I mean, it totally worked.
Yes. And the one thing I really did enjoy about this one, as opposed to the last one, is there was always a certain point in the last game where stealth would just stop and you would have to fight. And in this one, you didn't have to. You could stealth the entire
Oh yeah,
mission if you wanted to. It takes a while, but
you could stealth pretty well until the boss battles. You could pretty much stealth the entire game.
yeah. And I love stealth, so I would do that. And then once the action started, then you got a great battle going on.
Yeah,
And Miles and Peter both played differently.
yeah,
And the Venom suit, you at some point get the black
Yeah.
Venom suit, and that even plays differently.
that was a huge positive for me. Was how they introduced the alien symbiote.
Oh yeah,
Which in the movies they've never called it an alien. It would like at one point, I think in the Spider-Man 3, it was like a nano suit or something.
I thought it was in the Venom game. In the Venom movies, he's a
He's an alien.
I think
yeah,
so.
Well, yeah, okay.
With Eddie Brock.
Yeah, but what I liked about it, because I love the original. My favorite comic I had growing up was Web of Spider-Man #1. It was the first time he had the black suit after doing Secret Wars. And I loved how he got a hold of the suit and like the origin of that. Well, obviously, a movie, you're not going to have a bunch of heroes go to a planet some weird god made that everyone's going to fight on. Like, it's not going to happen. But the fact that this was still an alien was Chef's kiss.
Oh yeah, and the way that they introduced it. Now, we're gonna get in a little bit of spoiler territory here. So, in the credit sequence of the last game, it teased that Peter's friend Harry, Osborne, Daddy was the Green Gobsy.
Norman. Yeah.
Harry's got an incurable disease.
His mother died from this disease.
Right.
And it was passed on to him. Yeah.
And so he's in this like a Star Wars back to tank kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you see the symbiote, so the tease is Venom in the end. And it's really cool what they do with the friendship between Harry and Peter. And that's what makes it so... One of the things that made this game so damn interesting to me was that everybody had a sympathetic side to them, whether they were the villain, even Venom, It's like Venom was trying to survive, what I mean?
He was doing the thing that he thought would help fix the world.
That's the thing. I think the motivations behind a lot of these guys weren't nefarious. The Sandman just wanted to see his daughter.
Yeah.
The Scorpion.
That opening.
Oh, yeah. There's just so much depth to it. The characters are so... Even the little side quest characters are so defined. There's some great side quests where you just go find a grandpa. And then sit and talk to him.
Chat with him, yeah.
And I think one of the most poignant side quests I've ever played is... There was a character in the first Spider-Man, I forget his name, he was a homeless guy who had a bunch of pigeons that were his buddies.
Yeah.
And there was this horrible minigame in the first Spider-Man where you had to go track down these pigeons and a web swing, and it was just monotonous.
Catching those pigeons was, woo!
It got easier on the PS5, I will have to say.
Yeah.
So he comes back in this game, and you're like, oh boy, here we go again. But he's just like, oh no, I want you to take my pigeons someplace nice. Find them someplace where they can live. And look, I'm not saying this whole thing wasn't telegraphed from the beginning.
No.
But you go and you take this guy's pigeons. This beautiful song plays. I forget the name of it, but it's like some pop tune.
Yeah.
And you take the pigeons and you find him a new home, and then you go back to the guy and he's dead. And we knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big surprise, but it was a character that we got to know and love from the last game, and it was such a beautiful send-off for him.
Yeah.
And it was like, it teared me up. I mean, it was a very emotional thing. And you get to play one of my favorite side quests, and I'm really glad I was playing it with my headphones on.
Yeah.
Was Miles has a love interest.
A love interest, yeah.
And she's deaf. And you get to play just a quick bit as her, and the sound, especially with the headphones on, of being deaf.
Yeah.
It was amazing. But it really made me get to know the character better and to understand the character better. And I think there's just so much inclusivity and so much depth to this game that is more than just a silly superhero game.
Right. I agree. I totally agree. I love the inclusion of a deaf character. They literally sign and do ASL.
Yeah.
Like it's I've never seen that in a game before.
Yeah.
I mean, they have subtitles to translate everything, but like it was incredible.
Yeah.
Like it's such a great sense of inclusivity of making sure these people are aware that they're being seen.
And without pandering, there was no It was organic. It wasn't like virtue signaling or whatever people, I don't know how to define it, but you know what I mean? It wasn't like,
yeah.
It was like, okay, we're going to have these gay characters in, we're going to have this character. They had all of that. But it was all organic and done in a way that just is like life.
I was fully expecting, because there's the first time that you realize that they're doing ASL, I was fully expecting one of the characters to be like, oh, I don't know ASL. But like Genki and his friend Genki and Miles, like both are just immediately start signing. And it's like, well, yeah, they're friends with her.
Right.
So like they're going to learn this so they can talk.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it was great.
Yeah. It was the perfect length. The story was amazing. The side quests were pretty good. I've got a couple of little annoyances.
Okay.
One is I was so disappointed in the Mysterio
Oh yeah.
side quest because it was this whole bait and switch.
Yeah.
Mysterio, if you don't know, is a character. He was in one of the Spider-Man movies. He's like a
He's like
a con man.
The second.
Yeah.
Away from home or whatever.
Far from home.
Far from home. Yeah, I think it was far from home.
There's a lot of homes.
The one where he is in Europe and then he comes back.
Yes,
and,
played by Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal, yeah.
He was great at it.
Yeah.
But the first time you go into the Mysterio mini game, it's at Coney Island, and it's this really fun music,
Yeah.
like a Beat Saber
Beat
type
Saber,
of thing,
yeah.
you know, where you got to go on the beat. And I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. It totally is a break from all of the stupid fighting and the busy work, and it's and unique. And Miles is so into music. Nice. They finally incorporated Miles' music into the minigame thing. I'm going to love this. Well,
And a bunch more open up,
and I'm like, I can't wait. I'm going to just do these.
and it's just beat 'em ups.
Bait and effing switch. Just to beat 'em up in some weird
Like
ethereal place. And you gotta. I don't look. I think in both games, some of the side material, isn't the best.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of the same kind of beat 'em up kind of stuff. But I will say that I never got really bored with it.
Yeah.
And what I would do, if there was something I didn't like in the game, I'll just do them all. I'll get them out of the way. I eat my vegetables, and then I can go have ice cream for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So I'll just, if I just pummel through these things, then I can
Yeah.
get the suit, and I can go on my merry way,
Yeah.
my Mary Jane way. But yeah, I think some of the side content I wasn't extremely psyched with. I really liked the science side quest stuff. I liked that in the first one too, where the little puzzles where you got to put the chemicals and stuff.
Oh yeah,
together.
this one was cool. Yeah.
Makes you feel smart.
Yeah.
But I had enough. I think they improved on a lot of the things. They improved on the those encounters that just pop up, the crime encounters. They were a lot quicker and less intrusive, and a little bit more varied.
That's one thing for me that I felt was more of a downside. I know in the first Spider-Man game, and I didn't feel this way in Miles Morales, but like the first Spider-Man game, I felt very much more willing to like explore the city.
Yeah.
And in this one, I was just like story, and like I never really, and maybe that's me, but I never really took the time to like go out and just swing around and like check out the new parts of the maps that are open and stuff. And granted, I know in the first one they forced you a number of times to just go swing around the city, and I know some people didn't like that. I loved it because I was like, hey, it's this is what he does 90% of the time.
Yes, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, but that's small. That's small, and I'm gonna play it again, and I'm gonna explore the city.
100%. They're not deal breakers, and nothing is long enough or hard enough that it gets discouraging or frustrating.
Yeah.
I never got. I think I got frustrated at one thing until I figured out how to do it, and then it was fine.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they don't hold your hand in this game completely. There's some stuff you got to kind of figure out on your own, which I like too. But all in all, when the credits rolled on this game, I was so satisfied. It's one of the best games of the year.
Agreed.
And this year has been an amazing year for games.
Yeah.
It really has, with Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk.
Phantom Liberty.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's so good. So good.
I finally started.
Oh, we'll be talking about that probably next month.
I'm like 4 hours into it, and I still haven't gotten to the title card yet.
That's so crazy. But if you got a PS5, get yourself this.
Yeah.
If your kids got one, you know they're going to want it. It's also a game that everybody can play.
Yes.
There's really nothing in it salacious or dirty or death. You know, Spider-Man doesn't like to kill people.
No.
I mean, people die.
There's one particular very violent scene, but it's worth it, and it's worth it.
You do get to play as somebody that is.
That's not even the scene I was talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm talking about after that when Kraven and Venom fight.
Oh yeah. Well, Kraven is a hunter and he likes to kill people, so bear that in mind.
Yeah.
But honestly, you know, if any kid.
It was still handled in a way that
There's no blood.
Yeah, there's no blood.
There's not any blood or body parts or anything or foul language or any of that stuff. So you could totally play it with your kids. And it would be a fun... Look, if your kids play games, it might be something that you guys could play together.
Yeah,
I think
totally.
you'd really enjoy it. And it's also a great game to watch, you know?
Yeah.
It's because the story, like you said, you just kind of jam through the story.
Yeah.
Because the story's so good.
It's good. You just want to know what happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's our biggie, man.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2. Ask for it for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever holiday you celebrate.
Sure. Whatever materialistic holiday that you celebrate. Let's talk about some TV.
Yeah. We both watched Blue Eye Samurai.
On Netflix.
It's on Netflix. It is absolutely incredible.
Oh, my God. I read an article that said, you're not watching the best show on Netflix. And I'm like, whatever. Don't tell me what I'm doing. And so I put it on, and it gripped me, man. It gripped me like no other show has in a while.
Yeah.
To the point where I was barreling towards the end. It's 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
It's a kind of a standalone thing. Hopefully, they'll have a second season.
I hope so.
But I was barreling through it, and it was like almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm about to start the last episode.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm like, I gotta know.
Yeah.
But then, the sane part of me was like, look, man, you watch it now, you're not going to remember a damn thing.
Yeah.
You go to bed and you watch it tomorrow when you're...
Look at you all growing up.
Yeah, it only took 54 years. But yeah, I have not been gripped like that in a long time. And it's the writing and the story is just so good.
The last thing, I should say the last animated show like this that really got me was Primal. And a fantastic show. Highly recommend Primal.
That's on Cartoon Network?
Yeah. So it's on Max. Yeah, Adult Swim. I think it was Adult Swim. Great show. Absolutely great show. But Blue Eye Samurai, the animation is so incredible.
Yeah.
It was done by a French company. It's so good. The show was created and written by a husband and wife team. Didn't realize they were married. Michael Green and Amber Noizumi.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been married long if this show didn't do well. I'll tell you that.
Green, the name might sound familiar. He co-wrote Logan, Alien Covenant, Blade Runner 2049, and Murder on the Orient Express, all of which came out in 2017.
That's insane. Yeah, there's something else coming out.
Crazy year.
There's something else coming out too that I was like, I don't know. But then I found out that they were writing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm in.
Yeah.
100%. I wish I could remember what it was.
He was actually nominated for Logan. He was nominated for an Academy Award.
It's a great script.
It was great.
All of those scripts were great.
Yeah. But it's such an incredible show.
Great characters. And it's the thing that's really cool about it is that it's not, there's no monsters. There's no mystical crap. There's no, orcs or goblins.
Mizu, the main character, can seem otherworldly at times.
Well, they call the person a
Mizu.
demon.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Because they have blue eyes.
Well, yeah. So the whole thing is that in 1633, when this shogun took over Japan, he unified Japan. He closed down the borders, and no one that was not Japanese was allowed in the country.
Right.
Except, surprise, surprise, these 4 guys who were traders and they stayed there, and Mizu is potentially the offspring of one of them, and wants to have revenge because they want to be Japanese and they can't be because they're a half breed.
Because they got blue eyes and they're cursed. Yeah. And the thinking at the time too was that the blue-eyed devils were devils, demons.
They weren't pure. I mean, it was
demons.
Yeah, they weren't pure. I mean, at the end of the day, if you weren't Japanese, you were lesser.
And this person has another strike against him, too, that you'll find out. But the supporting cast is great. The kid with no arms, no hands.
Masaoka, I think it is.
Is that his name?
That does I think he's the guy from Heroes.
Masaoka does the voice, but the character...
Oh, no, I don't remember the character's name.
He's great.
It's No Hand Jimmy.
Right, No Hand Jimmy. And then there's One-Eyed Jack. And then there's...
It's...
Big-bellied Bobby.
It's a fantastic show. It is written so well. It's so layered. I highly, highly recommend it.
Acting is amazing. Kenneth Branagh does one of the voices. I had no idea it was him.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't sound like him at all.
No, and that's, look, Kenneth Branagh is very hit or miss for me. I like him a lot, but he is very hit or miss. And he hits it out of the park on this one.
Maya Erskine,
Mm-hmm.
she was one of the writers and stars of Pen 15.
Right. This floored me. The fact
yeah.
that she is the lead.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Have you ever seen Pen 15?
No, I've not watched it yet. But
It means penis.
oh, does it?
Yeah. But it's hilarious. They're hilarious. They did a crossover with Pen 15 and Big Mouth that was really funny, and she was on that as well, and the other girl.
Yeah.
It's about two let's maybe middle-aged now, two older actors
Yeah.
that are playing middle schoolers.
Oh, it's middle school?
Yeah,
Oh, I thought they were high school.
No,
Oh, wow.
I think it's middle school.
Oh, God.
And it is so hilarious. They are so perfect. But it just blew my mind that this comic, I had no idea. It was one of those things where I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, so Masaoka is the no-handed guy's name's Ringo. By the way.
Ringo.
Ringo.
And you're close with like one
no hand Jimmy. But Randall Park plays a character who's funny. He was on Fresh Off the Boat and a billion other things.
Oh my God. He was the Asian Jim in The Office,
Jim.
which was hilarious. You've seen him in a ton of stuff, but he, again, playing a bad guy, not playing.
Yeah.
You know, it's great to see these comedians playing these extremely dramatic parts.
It's so good. Oh my God. I mean, part of me, the way it ends, there definitely has to be a second season.
I hope so.
mean-
Well, if you all watch it,
Everybody
we all
needs to watch it.
It definitely does need to be seen. It's one of those things that we need to champion because it is so good. And I wasn't sure about it when it first popped up. I'm like, oh, another animated anime thing, you know, they got tons of them on here and they just kind of bleed together, but damn, man, amazing.
For me, really, and I explained this because Phoebe's younger sibling is a huge anime fan, and I cannot stand the standard anime animation.
Yeah.
Like that kind of cheap animation. It just turns me off so much.
Sure.
And there's definitely stories and shows that supersede that despite cheaper animation. But
And if you would, you know, the more modern day anime is not
right.
that.
But this Blue Eye Samurai is a work of art.
Oh, yeah.
Every frame is a work of art. It is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, impeccably directed, impeccably written, impeccably acted. It'll hold your interest until the very last frame. And like I said, I couldn't put it down if it were a book. But yeah, I mean it is one of the best series I've seen, if not the best series I've seen this year.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal. Highly recommend it. It's on Netflix. Check it out.
Check her out, dude. That's my new persona.
Check
My new
it out,
stepdad.
dude.
Check her out, dude. Well, now since we're talking about TV, we're going to do a little. We had a modern day television show for you to embrace. Only 8 episodes, so it's an inner and an outer pretty quick. But this one's a little bigger.
Not by much.
No, actually, not by much. And we're definitely going to do a show on this. We're gearing up next year for a Bruce Willis month.
Yeah, we're not going to go too deep into this right now, but it's definitely worth watching now. So then, when we do cover it, you've watched all 66 episodes.
Yeah, Moonlighting.
Finally on Hulu.
Yeah.
Finally on streaming, but on Hulu. There was a bunch of music issues because they use a lot of music in the show.
Yeah, a lot of doo-wop, a lot of...
They didn't want to release the show without having the original music in it and the music that was when it originally broadcast.
Because much like Miami Vice at the time, music was another character in the show.
Yes.
And a lot of the shows, like even the titles, Devil with the Blue Dress On, one of the Moonlighting episodes with Judd Nelson and Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, nice.
Whoopi Goldberg was smoking hot, too. Good Lord.
Yeah.
But, you know, Devil in the Blue Dress, you're not playing that song, it's not going to work.
Right, exactly,
You know?
exactly. Yeah.
This show started out as just, you know, they wanted to do another, you know, man, woman, camera TV. They wanted to do another, you know, detective show, a will they, won't they, you know, the kind of thing. But this show evolved into something that people had never really seen before. It was like a combination of the Looney Tunes and a combination of Hitchcock and all of these disparate things coming together to somehow work. Because you have Sybil Shepherd, who is grounded and serious and a business person and a grown-up, basically. Right, you could tell by the shoulder pads, Adam. And then you got Bruce Willis as David Addison, who's just id, you know?
Yeah.
He's just fun, immature, having a good time. Come on, Maddie, lighten up. Hey. And it was one of the first shows to break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And it also was one of the first shows that the behind-the-scenes drama spilled out everywhere.
It was almost as big a story as the show.
It was. And almost, I think half of the people watching the show were watching the show because they liked the show, and the other half of the people were watching the show to see what was going on between these two people that apparently hated each other.
Right.
Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. And so it was originally supposed to be Sybil Shepherd vehicle because she was the big star, but Bruce Willis, he took off. He was lightning in a bottle, and it's so funny. I don't know, the perspective of seeing it when I was younger, I was a full-on David Addison, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Immature, let's have fun, singing, dancing,
The Bruce Willis character, yeah.
But now watching it, I'm just like, I'm so on Maddie's side. Like, grow up, dude.
I can see where and I've only watched like 5 episodes so far, but I could see where the foil of his being that id works.
Oh, yeah.
And like, definitely there's times when they need it,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, the pilot was incredible. It was done really well.
Oh, yeah.
It gets a little ridiculous by the end.
But that's the thing. It's supposed to.
But yeah, I mean, it's fine. You know, I mean, it was fun. It's written very well.
Yeah.
Glenn Gordon Caron created the show. He also created Medium and Now and Again. I don't know if you watched either of those shows. He's still out there. He's working on Bull, I think.
And it kind of turned the tropes of like the heart-to-hearts or the Remington Steels on its side, you know, on its head, I guess. Is that what you're saying? And yeah, of course, the other things were very successful.
No, I'm just saying is that it wasn't like he was a flash in the pan. It
Oh,
wasn't
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that when I say peaked early is that it's difficult when you're the zeitgeist, you know, and you have something that's so unique. And I think, you know, the fact that this is one of the first shows too, that people paid attention as much to what went on behind the scenes as what went on the show.
Yeah.
And it was also one of the first shows to acknowledge that and make fun of themselves for it.
Right.
And they're in on the joke. Because a lot of times they'd be like, they have an opening and be like, well, it's been like 8 weeks since we've had a new moonlighting. And
Yeah. That's the really funny thing is that the show ran 5 seasons, but only 66 episodes, which is extremely rare for an hour-long drama.
They could not.
Yeah.
They couldn't. I don't think they ever reached more than 18 episodes a season. Or 19. I think 19 was their best.
Maybe.
I think season 3 might have had 19 episodes. But it also just got to the point, too, because I'm on...
No, it was 18. Season 2 was 18.
Season
1 was 7. Season 2 was 18. Season 3 was 15. Season 4 was 14. Season 5 was 13.
Oh, wow.
But all the issue is that they would like literally be like, all right, here's promos for the next week's episode. And then it wouldn't be done. Right. And they were like, I guess we're going to show reruns.
But it wasn't just Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd disliking each other or whatever it was.
No.
It was such a demanding show for the two leads. A, they were in every single scene. B, the dialogue pops so quick. It's so quick, but it also has a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
And each word is important because a lot of times there's a whole, we're looking for a man with a mole on his nose, a mole on his nose, a mole on his nose. And it's this whole kind of Dr. Seussian stuff and back and forth. And it's such a fast talking show that it's basically 2 hours in a 40-minute show.
Right.
And always walking and talking and running and talking. And it's just, I could see how exhausting it would be.
Oh, yeah.
I think the pressure, the feuding.
Yeah.
You know, there was also, I think they kind of twisted it at the time of a will they, won't they behind the scenes too. They kind of made it seem like they were kind of the same characters. I think they just kind of hated each other.
Sure.
But because of the workload and the fact that they just couldn't get any episodes done, they brought in Curtis Armstrong to play Bert Viola, and then they created this romance between him and Alice Beasley, who plays Miss DePesto.
DePesto.
She's the receptionist. Is like rhymes everything.
Jimmy DePesto. Yeah,
Welcome to Blue Moon.
I gotta admit, that's probably my least favorite thing about the show.
I love it. But now, because I'm on the penultimate season, I think. And it's like, now half of the season is just DePesto and Viola.
Right.
And their will they, won't they.
Right.
And then they bring in McGillicuddy to be kind of a foil to them. And it's like, well, these tertiary characters we don't really care about.
Right.
And as they're trying their hardest, and they're both great actors. And watching it again, divorced from all of this drama, when I first watched it, I really enjoy their episodes.
Curtis Armstrong's great. He's a great actor.
At the time, it was just so frustrating to be a fan of this show. And I've never had this with any other show ever. It's just interesting. It's really interesting to watch it again. To be able to go from episode to episode, episode to episode, not have to wait months between episodes. Right. And I'm just, and I'm really curious, because you're still in season 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And once you get to season 2 and 3, it really kind of finds its
sure.
It's real self. But I'm curious to see what you think of it watching it today.
Yeah.
Because I'm so biased. I can't.
Right.
I just, and I've always been a huge fan of Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm.
And it just breaks my heart watching him 32 years old, just this young, pudgy, hilarious guy, just so quick, so funny, just watching him become a star.
Yeah.
Which is literally what the show is. You're watching this man become a megastar. And then seeing these posts from his kids and stuff about his aphasia and his dementia.
Yeah.
The snappy, poppy dialogue, it's just so incredible and difficult to do. They make it look so easy.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the things, just a little bit of research I've done so far, because, of course, when I start watching stuff, I can't help it. The reason Sybil Shepherd wanted to do the show was because of the Hawksian-like dialogue.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that Glenn Gordon Caron was like, what are you talking about? He had no idea. So they sat down and watched a bunch of Howard Hawks movies, and he was like, oh, yeah, I write like that.
Yeah. He was ripping off somebody without even knowing he was ripping them off.
Yeah.
I thought it was ripping off Hitchcock.
But we will go much deeper into that when we do our Bruce Willis month. But
definitely.
Give it a watch.
Yeah, if you're a Bruce Willis fan, Sybil Shepherd fan of comedy, fan of Hitchcock comedy, a fan of really unique television.
Yeah.
And groundbreaking television.
Yes.
Then check it out. It's on Hulu.
Yeah, watch it before Hulu goes away.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, get on it, because who knows? It's a crazy time with streams.
Once Disney buys it outright, I don't know what's going to happen to all that stuff.
Well, I'm not the first one to say it, but it just seems like we're getting to the point where we're reinventing cable.
Yeah.
We're getting to the point where, let's put commercials on there, and then we'll combine them, and then we'll have live stuff.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I know. Now it's like when I turn on HBO Max, or Max, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can watch the NBA on TNT. I don't even need cable.
No.
Like, okay.
You can watch CNN, too.
Yes. The more things change, the more things stay the same.
But that is our retro pick of the month.
Definitely give it a watch. I'm very much enjoying it. Like I said, I think I'm about 5 episodes into it. The 7-episode first season, but it's good. It's really fun.
Well, we're gonna just go do
some quick bites.
Some quick bites for you, things that we've been watching, and we'll just let you know if we like it or don't.
The new season of The Amazing Race started, and I love it.
Nice.
You should watch it. There's 39 seasons of it. It's all available on Paramount Plus.
You and Phoebe should try to get on that.
Yeah, we've been we. If you didn't listen to the episodes way at the beginning, when we first started, we literally watched 37 seasons during lockdown.
Good Lord.
It was 343 episodes of this show during lockdown. We would watch it during lunch.
Yeah.
We would just have lunch and watch The Amazing Race. Just one episode every day. But it's now, they've had a couple seasons since they have started again, because obviously it was shut down during the pandemic.
Yeah.
They've had a couple seasons. This is the first season where they don't have like chartered planes and stuff where you have to actually find your own way. It's like, go to Tbilisi, Georgia. There's a travel agent, book a plane. Like, it's the first time.
They get money?
Oh, yeah. They have a credit card that they give them. But it's like, you have to literally do it all yourself. And all you have is a piece of paper that says you have to go to this place. And
All right.
and it's the way it was for a long time. But it's nice to see it go back to that. It is the only reality, quote unquote, reality show that I actually watch, because it is actually a competition show. It's a game show at the end of the day. This season's really good. I highly recommend it. It's very fun. And they went to Slovenia for the first time ever in the history of the show, and it's gorgeous there.
Nice.
Like, I was just like, wow, I've never even thought about going to Slovenia. Now it's on my list.
So, what season is this?
39.
Wow.
38 or 39. Yeah.
How? Is it two seasons a year or something?
They do, yeah. They usually do one in the spring and one in the fall.
Because it hadn't been on for 39 years.
No, it started in like 2000, I think, or 2001.
Well, it's
So,
like Survivor.
Survivor's the same. I mean, they would, Survivor's in like season like 45 or something.
I watched I loved the first season of Survivor.
I never got into it.
It was just so different, and it seemed like it was more skill based,
Right.
Than
right.
Most reality shows,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah,
And it was a
yeah.
competition, and you had that weirdo Richard Hatch guy who was nude all the time. He became a big star.
Who won and has
He did win.
he won and he's dead now.
I know. See, folks, don't win Survivor. It'll kill you. I don't know why. I've watched some Amazing Race, just hanging out with you,
Yeah.
and I've enjoyed it. I haven't gotten into it. I haven't watched it.
It's not. We travel a lot, so like I'm all about. I mean, for me, half of it's just seeing beautiful places shot really well.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, okay, but it's good, and it ticks all those boxes for me. Game shows, travel, like all that stuff. So I absolutely love The Amazing Race.
Oh, it's great. And again, it's a skill based.
It is.
You have to use your brain.
If you are not good at stuff, you will not survive on The Amazing
Not
Race.
like Big Brother. You just gotta.
He's got to impress the people so they don't vote you out.
Big Brother, you just gotta try not to get herpes. It's like I'm going to be in here for 60 days.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try not to get the herpes.
If you just get the herpes, you've won.
It's true, and you only have herpes.
But on Paramount Plus, literally, I was shocked because it's the first time since they started this new season. It's the first time they've all been in one streaming platform.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Well, cool. What else are you watching? What else?
Invincible started again.
Oh yeah, the Kirkman, is that Robert Kirkman?
Yeah. Yes, I think so. Kirkman.
Based
yeah.
on his comics?
His comic, yeah. Its second season started. They had first season was brutal.
Yes, it was.
And then they had that special, the Adam Eve special, which was really good. And this season is shaping up to be even more brutal.
Yeah, no, it's a great show. It's it's kind of like The Boys in terms of being an adult superhero cartoon. Well, this is a cartoon. That's live action.
Yeah.
But it's got Stephen Yeun from
Yep.
Walking Dead and
God, I always call him J. Jonah Jameson.
because he's played it. I think isn't he J. Jonah Jameson in the Spider-Man games?
Yeah, he is. He plays him all the time. It's
Spider-Man.
It's God. I actually ran into him at a Panera Bread with his family.
He's such a good actor.
He's in. He's one of those people I can never. J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Never remember his name. I don't know why.
Well, he's in it.
Whiplash. He's one of my favorite actors.
Start drumming. Drum. Hit the drums.
Also, Seth Rogen is in it. He actually has a pretty big part in at least the episode so far. But they're releasing them once a week.
Yeah, streamers have gotten stingy.
They've realized that they can't just dump everything out. Now it's getting to the point where if they do dump everything out, they don't believe in the project at all.
It's been really good this season.
Yeah, it's written very well. I'm not a huge fan of The Walking Dead. I'm not a huge fan of Robert Kirkman's writing.
Yeah.
I tried reading the comics, and I thought they were very pedestrian and very boring.
Ooh.
This is much better. This is much, much better.
It is. It is. I liked The Walking Dead. I kind of gave up on it a few seasons ago. I'd like to finish it, I guess.
At some point, I'm going to sit down and rewatch the whole thing and finish it, yeah.
Real quick warning. This is off topic, but there is a Walking Dead game that just released on the PS5. Quite possibly the worst game released.
It tried so hard to make them look like the actors, and it failed horribly.
It is. It looks like it came out in 1998.
Yeah.
and was a bad game then.
It's amazing now that we have competitions for the worst AAA games between this and the Gollum game.
Well, what's really funny is the same company that made this horrible game. I don't know if you've heard of this game, which is even worse, but the Kong Skull Island game?
Oh, yeah. Was it the same company?
Same company.
How are they still have money?
They must have just got the licensing and then just did the bare minimum to make a game. Anyway, stay away.
Yeah.
Consumer alert. Consumer alert.
Terrible. We finished watching Loki.
Oh, yeah.
I really, really enjoyed the ending.
Oh, it was great. It was
one of the best written Marvel shows ever.
And very satisfying. I'd want to watch the whole series again.
Yeah.
But I'm cool with them ending it.
Yeah.
I think they did a really great job.
It's up there in the realm of like Andor. Like I just want a couple seasons. They're gonna like blow my socks off, and I'm good.
And yeah, they did a really great job of time travel and just kind of resetting the Marvel universe in a way.
Yeah. It definitely gave them an out for the whole Kang thing.
And look, the Marvels just came out. It looks like a lot of fun. Quit pooping on it.
Yeah.
And it's difficult enough to release a movie when everybody can promote it, but when you're stymied by the strike, rightly so. I'm 100% with the strikers. I'm a striker.
Of course,
I'm insane.
Of course.
So I believe in it. But when you're not able to promote your movie and you have a secret weapon like Iman Vellani, is that her name?
Yeah.
Who plays Ms. Marvel, it's going to hurt your box office because people aren't really paying attention.
She's so charming and she's so fun. And like definitely the talk show circuit would have loved her.
She's hilarious. I saw her on Seth Meyers. She's actually writing a Ms. Marvel comic book.
Oh, nice.
Right now.
Awesome.
And I think she's written a couple. I think she's been working and she's just like, it's so great to send my stuff and then you get pictures based on it. And she's just so, she just seems like she's really enjoying everything that's happening to her. And the fact that she was just a cosplayer who ended up getting the part, it's just even more charming.
Yeah.
And her show, Ms. Marvel, that's probably top 2 or 3. Like it's Loki and Ms. Marvel.
It was so good. It was written so well.
Very
done
well.
So well.
And just she is just so ebullient, you know? She's so bubbly and infectiously happy. It makes me angry. But yeah, so definitely check out Loki if you haven't done it.
Yes, you should go see the Marvels, or God knows, by Christmas it'll probably be on Disney Plus.
That's also another thing.
Unfortunate.
And I'm hugely guilty of that. Why go to the movies when I can watch them on my TV? There's certain things. There's no way I was going to miss Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny because I've seen all of those in the theater, and I will see all of those in the theater. I guess this is probably it.
Next week, Phoebe and I will most likely go see the new Hunger Games movie because she is a huge fan of the Hunger Games.
Oh, yeah, right.
That just came out last week.
It's doing great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I stopped looking at box office stuff. I realized I was getting too obsessed with it, so I've let that go.
Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah. I just want stuff to be entertaining.
Exactly. I think that's what we all want. But this whole distribution of entertainment is in such a weird flux right now, and they don't really know what to do or how to fix it or how to get it working again. So hopefully they'll get their ass together. What else do you have?
That's it. What else do you want to chat about?
Just a couple of quickies. I watched Blue Beetle.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of superhero soups.
Yeah.
It was fine. The kid, Zolo, I don't know how to say his name.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, I apologize.
Mardunia or something.
Yeah. Charming kid. The guy from Cobra Kai. He's doing his best. The best thing about it is the family. Kind of like Ms. Marvel. It's got this real family unity.
Yeah.
The family's fun. That kind of makes it stand out against everything else that it's kind of like. It's just...
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's very much like Spider-Man or any other kind of origin movie. It's got all... Unfortunately, it hits a lot of the same tropes of, relative dies and this happens, and then you got to do this. And
yeah, the trailer made it seem very much like a Spider-Man origin story.
It is. And like I said, it's not a bad movie, but it's just another generic superhero movie that has just enough charm in it that I would say give it a watch.
Okay. I definitely want to check it out. I like him a lot, the lead. Zolo is apparently how you say it.
Zolo. Thank you.
Zolo. He's great. He's very charming. He's a very nice kid. We got a chance to work with him a little bit during a production we did. He's a very nice kid. I want him to be successful. Yeah.
Let's have some more creativity in our superhero stories. We've all seen these we've seen enough effing origin stories.
I know.
Let's come in the middle.
Yeah.
You can have a couple of flashbacks to let us know what happened.
Have them established. It's fine.
We've seen it. Yeah. So I think that is the fatigue. I'm just tired of origin stories. I'm just tired of them.
Yeah.
But still, check it out. Upload came back on Prime with, I think, Stephen Amell. Is that Robbie Amell, I think his name is, starring in it. I really like this show. I just finished it. I don't know. I'm hoping there's still an episode. I think they're coming out weekly.
Oh, yeah.
Because if not, it's such a cliffhanger, and I don't know if the show's coming back.
Yeah.
But it's been really enjoyable, and it's a really clever. It's done by Mike Schur, who did Parks and Rec and Brooklyn Nine-Nine too, didn't he?
Yeah.
So it's got a great pedigree, and it's funny and interesting, and it deals with. Because the whole conceit is you get uploaded into kind of a digital afterlife where you can live in this, virtual world, basically.
Right.
But there's a lot of repercussions and a lot of shenanigans and a lot of effed up billionaires and intrigue going on that it's really, it just kind of turns from, oh, this is funny thing into not serious or anything, but a really good story and a really interesting kind of mystery, and it really deals with the repercussions of who owns you if you're digitally uploaded, because somebody has to. I would have to pay for you to be uploaded, and then I technically own your upload, and I gotta keep putting money into the canteen because the whole thing is like, oh, you can have Burger King and all you want, but it costs money,
right.
So unless you're rich, you're not going to have a very good upload afterlife.
Yeah, that isn't.
And there's like people that are like giggers that they only get a certain amount, like a gig worth of whatever, and they'll just freeze in the middle of talking.
Oh, wow.
Because they just don't have.
Right.
So it's like the class situation and what it's like, with somebody trying to put together an afterlife that is free and how they want to stop it. Really, really good show.
Okay.
It really under the radar. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it very often.
No, not very often.
Quite. Yeah. Honestly, I was super surprised it came back. It just kind of like, I was on Prime. I'm like, holy yes, there's a new upload season.
Right.
I'll watch it. But it's definitely, even if you haven't heard about it, it is definitely worth watching. And I think his name is Robbie Amell, who plays the lead. He's very charming, and he does a great job. And I definitely recommend it. Okay. My top pick of the quick bites, is Scott Pilgrim Takes Off.
Okay.
It's a new anime show on Netflix, and it stars everybody who was in Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Every single actor came back.
Nice.
To do their part. Even Knives Chow.
Nice.
Who I love. But it is such an amazing bait and switch. You think you're watching just kind of a retelling of the movie, and then, boom, baby, it just takes off. I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to say anything about this. Just experience it. It is, if you're a fan of Scott Pilgrim, you're going to absolutely love it. You're going to be in lesbians with this thing. That's from the movie Scott Pilgrim and Lesbians with You. Get it?
Yeah.
I did a joke.
Lesbians, yeah.
Jesus. But it's just, it was so much fun. It takes it in a very different direction, and it's such a good companion piece to the movie. And now I want to watch the movie again.
Nice.
To kind of like...
Yeah.
But
I'm really excited to watch it.
Very clever. Only like 20 minutes. I burned through most of it in a day just because I couldn't put it down. Or stop it. I don't know. It's not a book. But that would be my big quick bite of the month, would be Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. What would be your quick bite of the month?
The Amazing Race.
Amazing Race.
By far.
All right, so play yourself some Spider-Man 2, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Check out The Treasure of Foggy Bottom. 7 to 8 out of 10. Fun, good time.
I would give it a 7.5. I think that's
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. It was
solid, fun movie. Blue-Eyed Samurai, 11 out of 10.
11 out of 10. Yeah.
That is I would say that's our number one pick of the month.
Yeah.
And then Moonlighting, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Great retro TV.
Start watching it now.
Get on it, people, because we're going to probably be doing it in March or April, or maybe,
Yeah.
you know.
Look, yeah.
We'll
at some
do it
point.
next
Yeah.
year.
It'll be next year at some point.
Sing about my name.
Yeah. Oh,
Sing
sorry.
about my name.
That is my least favorite thing about Moonlighting. The theme song.
Who just met
Theme
on
song.
the way.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
You're not an Al Jarreau fan.
The show is so much more interesting than that song.
Well, Al Jarreau was big
I'm
at
fine.
the time.
Fine. That was Phoebe walked in while I was playing, and she started doing this little dance thing, and I was like, okay. She's like, this is the dance you have to do for this, and she's like, when did this come out? And I was like, 1985, and she's like, what? Also, before we sign off, one quick shout out. I just want to say happy birthday to Jana. She's a longtime friend, longtime listener of the show. Her birthday's today.
Oh, happy birthday.
Not today, as in when you're listening to this, it would have been 4 days ago. But happy birthday, Jana. Happy belated birthday.
All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday
to... Can we sing that, or do we have to
No.
owe money for it?
Yeah.
God damn it. Happy birthday,
Happy
Jana.
birthday, Jana.
If we weren't so damn cheap, we'd sing you the song. We'll see y'all next month. You know, all those guys. Son of a bitch.
Comedies.
So I married an ex-murderer. After
Whoa.
after we were talking about it. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming. Benson, already in progress.